What up, people? And we are back. Another episode of Street Smart Sales. Of course, my name is Jonathan J.B. Williams. I have my business partner here and very great friend, Brian Curry, man. Brian, say what's up to everybody, bro.
What's up? What's up? Another episode of Street Smart Sales, where we're taking it to the street from my office in my house, but I will be on the street next week.
You
The
know what,
virtual
man?
street, everyone.
You know what? And what's funny is that you'll probably be in the street after this call because you go on your walks every day, right? To do
Yeah,
the selfie video where you give out tips and everything on
I
LinkedIn,
will.
right?
I will. I will. That's so funny. Yes, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. RIP Mr. Fred Rogers. I will be out on that sidewalk doing my walk, baby. I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna get out there in the neighborhood and I'll shoot y'all something valuable
Right,
via
right.
quick video that I'm gonna shoot. Yes, sir.
Definitely, definitely. Well, Brian, man, today, episode two, we're going to talk about how to find your first five clients, right? And what that looks like, especially for someone who's starting up, or maybe even someone who's been in business and they've hit a rut and maybe they need to recalibrate, man. So,
Yep.
Brian, I'm gonna let you kick it off, bro. Get us kind of kicked off with maybe the groundwork of how to get those new clients in the door and some things that we should be thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody who either has a business or has just recently launched their business, whether it's a brick and mortar store or an online business, something virtual like what JB and I have, um, we all want clients, right? Because without the paying clients, there's no income, there's no revenue, there's no money to do anything. You don't have a business. So the all-encompassing, all-consuming thing that's always on our mind is, where are these clients? How do I find them?
Hmm.
What do I charge? How can I, in essence, get these strangers to trust me with their hard-earned money when, in fact, up until you meet them at a networking event or in some online community or through a friend of a friend or whatever, y'all probably didn't even know the other person existed. So to go from a stranger to a paying client, there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot that goes into that. Um, I'm gonna give you a few tools and tips and tricks, so to speak, and resources of how to go about doing this. So one of the things that I specialize in, as many of you may or may not know, is copywriting. Everything that I did for the first several months in my business was organic. I didn't run any paid ads. I didn't pay for any leads, none of that stuff. So um, one of the biggest things that I found that worked for me was I did pay money to be in a specific group, and I'm still in that group. It's a Facebook group out of all places, um, Facebook Entrepreneurial Mastermind group, basically a networking group. I paid the annual subscription fee, or sorry, well, I broke it down into monthly payments so that I could get into that group. And I met the guy that manages and runs the group literally like the week after I lost my job.
Hmm.
So I got referred to him literally through a friend of a friend. One of my old clients told me about one of her friends. I met her a couple days after I lost my job. She referred me to this gentleman. And literally before the call was even done, after I met him, I was like, this group is perfect. It's all entrepreneurs. Everybody has different, pain points and challenges. I think we can serve some of them as a copywriter, sales trainer, maybe even a business coach. I'd love to join, so I joined. Sometimes you have to pay to play. John, JB and I talked about this earlier today. I Either you pay with your time and energy, or you pay with your money or resources, whatever. In some way, shape, or form, you are paying to play. So I paid to play. I paid to get into the group. As soon as I joined, my God, man, I did a ton of networking in that group. Um, Started meeting people, started telling them about what I do. I tried to learn more about them, their ideal clients, their offerings. Who do I know that I can refer to them? To build up some goodwill, hopefully. I started posting more and more content in that group, especially from some of these walk and talk videos that JB and several other people in my network seem to have given me really good positive feedback about. I would post those types of videos in that group to get people a little bit more comfortable with my knowledge base, my personality, who I am. I started posting more and more content online. Um, Not just business insights, though. I will caution y'all not to just constantly post content that talks about your product or service or your price, blah, blah, blah. These days, people do want to see the personal side of you. They're going to want to learn about why you're doing what you're doing. What is your story? Why should they work with you? Because there's probably other people in your online space or in your local community that can provide similar services at a similar price point. So they're going to want to get to know you as a human being. They want to see that, right? Um,
Mhm.
Once you start getting some reactions and engagement with your content, messaging them appropriately, not just immediately cold pitching them, but offering to actually like take a couple minutes out of your day to have a conversation with them, right? If there's any free resources or lead magnets or guides, templates, anything that you feel like that could help them, how do you have a conversation around that so that you can offer those things to them to be
Mhm.
useful to them, right? But without just jumping immediately into, hey, want to buy something? Hey, here's what I'm doing. Do you have your credit card ready? Like, dude, you have to be really mindful with what you're doing these days. There's got to be some strategy there.
Right.
Um, and JB, we can talk about a lot more stuff, as far as trading services for social proof, over delivering our values, referrals, and what that looks like. But those are just some of the tip of the iceberg type of stuff that I was doing, especially in the early days to generate momentum in my business.
Definitely, definitely. I'm really happy that you touched on those things, and I want to piggyback on a lot of that and segue into what I specialize in mostly is branding. And I know that a lot of startup entrepreneurs, they either, what I find from the people that I work with, organizations I've worked with, is that there tends to be a very extreme focus on either one or the other,
Mm,
and not so much enough of either most of the time, and never a sense of balance there. So what I mean is that many startup entrepreneurs, and not to their fault, focus either really heavily on marketing, which is telling people all about the thing you have or the service you have, and providing all this information about how what you do or what you provide could be of benefit, and listing out all the benefits and telling people to join this and sign up for that and click here and link below, um or you focus really heavily on your brand, which most people attribute brand to aesthetic. So they focus really heavily on making sure that they look really cool and their logo is nice and they spend a lot of time looking pretty. But then you show up as unrelatable, or you show up as unconnected to either your target market, or letting people actually know what it is about you and the service that should give them peace of mind to move forward with the investment process. That's how I like to call it, you
sure.
know. Because as Brian, as you and I have always talked about, most of the time it's not about the money, it's about the value. And when you're looking to acquire new clients, the biggest thing that you want to position is the value and the benefit of working with your service or working with your products, or trying it out, right? Which there's a lot of different, tacks and techniques, for having free ebooks and stuff like that, and trying to get people to opt in into emails and everything. But Brian, to your point that I wanted to dig deeper on is, in today's age, and it's probably been like this forever, but I think the logistics were different before technology took over the world. But now, before people want to do business with you or buy from you, they want to feel like they know you a little bit, even if they don't. you know
Mm-hmm.
um they want to get a really good sense of your personality. They want to get a really good sense of the backstory or your bio, or what led you to X result, or what led you to start this business, or how how are you providing something that's different than 100 other things that are titled the same on the marketplace. So it's really good that you brought that up. I know that we'll talk a lot deeper about those things in future episodes, man. But building those connections,
Yeah.
whether it be through direct messaging or um, reaching out, as in looking for your target demographic on social media. And I know that some preliminary steps of that too is understanding who your target demographic is. Because fun fact, sometimes your target demographic might not really be who you envisioned it would look like,
Right. Right.
because sometimes once we get into certain character traits or care abouts or motivators with our clients, we tend to very quickly realize that, oh, hey, like I thought I was marketing to this group, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
really speaking heavily to this group over here, even though my messaging is congruent with what I'm trying to do,
Mm.
and I think those are really big. And I think, Brian, you mentioned about trading services, trading
Yeah.
services for
Yeah.
value. I think that's excellent, especially if you can collaborate with someone who has either a really big influence or someone who has a very large social network, or even if either of those things exist, just if you're just starting out, getting your product out in front of people for them to leave you reviews and pass it along, give references,
Yeah.
and also too, polishing your craft and mastering your craft, because you
Bingo.
might you might feel like you're excellent, and you very may well be. And if you are excellent, then you giving that complimentary or discounted service, if you will, in the beginning shouldn't bother you as much, because you'll get that ROI. And then if you're not as confident when you get started, and you might either have imposter syndrome, or you might feel like, oh, maybe I don't know how good I am, then you definitely want to just get out there and get your feet wet, and then shock yourself, surprise someone else, add that value, and then continue to build your network that way also. So yeah.
I always say, and this is gonna sound harsh, y'all, but I'm a blunt dude. I'm a direct person. Just get right to it. Um, you might think you're amazing at what you do, and that's fine. However, just because you think you're amazing at what you do doesn't mean a total stranger does,
Mhm.
especially when it comes time to ask that human being who's never worked with you before. You've never provided any sort of value to them or a solution to any of their business's challenges based on your skill sets, etc. When it comes time to ask that human being for money, it's a very uphill battle, man. It's a steep hill to climb. So I'll give you a personal example, and I'm not just making stuff up here, y'all. So the very first client that I got, it was just a couple of days before I officially launched my business, just a couple of days after I lost my job, back in January. She was one of my old clients at a high ticket business coaching company, the same one that Jonathan was a client in. That's where I met. That's where I met Jonathan too. I was the master coach there for a little bit. I texted her, giving her an update that I had lost my job. Here's the website of a business that I'm launching. Here's some of the services I'm going to offer. I'm really excited. If you know anybody that could benefit from working with me, just like you did when you were working with me all those years ago, let me know. Be happy to work with them. I'm offering a 10% lifetime referral commission. So if they end up doing business with me, I'm happy to take 10% off the top of whatever invoice they pay, and I'll give it to you. And she messaged back. She's like, I'm so happy for you. This is great. You're going to do amazing. Actually, I might want to work with you myself. Boom. That's how I got my first client from a freaking text message, dude. Someone who already had previous working knowledge of what it was like to work with me, my skill sets, my expertise, my strengths, my weaknesses, etc. My next three clients after her, they were one after another over the course of probably just 2 or 3 weeks. They were from that online Facebook mastermind group, an entrepreneurs
Mm.
group that I just told you about earlier in the episode. They all came from that group, all from virtual coffees I was doing, networking, collaborations I was doing. Um, they all were paying clients as well. So from there, because they all left me nice testimonial, a couple of them left really cool video testimonials for me, 5-star reviews, etc. That made it much easier for me to go out to other people in the group or in other groups and different networking things that I was doing and people that were finding me on Thumbtack, et cetera, to feel comfortable doing business with me. Because these strangers, who might have been in similar situations as these current people who were looking me up, loved what I did for them. I could prove that I was actually good at what I was doing. It wasn't just my opinion. It was other people's opinion too. People who had just paid me,
Right.
right? That's what
Hmm.
it's all about. If you don't have very much social proof or outside influences, outside factors that are saying, no, JB, you are terrific at brand.
Hmm.
Brian, you are amazing at copywriting. Look what you did for me. You are a great sales trainer. Here's how you impacted my business's revenue. If you don't have other people saying that for you, good luck. It's a very tough sell, especially if you're not physically in the room with these people, right? If you're not sitting in a room vibing with them, shaking their hand, learning about their business, and you're trying to do all this virtually, my God, man, there's so much noise online that these human beings have to filter through. It's crazy. I
Right.
literally had someone earlier this morning. Y'all are not gonna, y'all may or may not believe this. This dude tried to add me on LinkedIn, sent me
Hmm.
the connection request, sent me a LinkedIn email. I hadn't even accepted the request yet, the connection request. All his message said, it was a cold message. It literally said, buy this product with a link to the product he was trying to hawk. And it was his affiliate link for some supplement that he was trying to sell. That's it.
Hmm.
No, hey Brian, I saw that you do XYZ and this is how you serve your clients. I love this. I, my name's XYZ. Here's what I'm doing. I think this product might be a really good fit for what you're doing, whether it's service. Are you open to having a conversation about it? Are you, would you like to potentially collaborate? Created this free guide. I think it'd be a great resource for you. Something like anything, dude. It was literally buy this product. Here's the link. Fucking, are you fucking kidding me, dude? And
Yeah,
we're
man.
we're laughing here. That's not the first time that's happened to me.
Oh no, and it won't be the last.
It won't be the last. And so, for the love of God, please, like you have to understand how to build more rapport with people than that. Instead of
Right.
basically just telling them, "Hey, get your credit card out. I have something I want to sell you. Hurry up
Right.
and buy."
Hurry up and buy.
Man, but yeah, that just happened to me earlier this morning. Trading services, I'm a big believer in that. Some of us out there, it's all about, well, my time is valuable, my skills are valuable. How much are you going to pay me? Because here's what I'm charging. Can you afford it? Yes or no? If the answer is no, I got to move on to the next person who will pay me because I don't want to quote and quote waste my time. Here's the
Mhm.
funny thing about your time. Nobody but you thinks it's valuable.
Hmm. Wow,
Nobody.
that's powerful. That's actually deep.
Nobody
Yeah.
but you gives a crap how busy you are, how valuable you think your time is, how smart you think you are. And I keep saying you think because you're the only one that thinks that way, dude. And until other human beings have started to pay you
Okay.
for your perception of the value that you bring
Right.
into a fucking conversation, even, or
Mm.
into a business type of engagement, the only person that thinks you matter or that you're valuable is you. And unless
Right.
you're going to be paying yourself and not caring about clients and what they think matters and what they think is valuable, you're wasting your time. You are wasting your time, not these people. So don't blame them for not feeling comfortable paying you their hard earned money. You haven't earned their trust yet.
Hmm.
They're not wasting your time. You are. And so
Right.
that is a paradigm shift. That is not how we were trained in school. We were always taught get your hourly wage, get a good paying job, make sure your time, make sure you're getting paid what you're worth. I heard that all the time. Make sure you're getting paid what you're worth. You got to know your worth. You got to figure that out. Don't let people take advantage of your time. Your time, your time, your time, your time, your time is valuable. What do you mean?
Right.
What the fuck do you mean, dude? I
Right.
trade services, especially in the first few weeks of this business.
Hmm.
I found someone who I thought would be a great client a few different times. Hey, I noticed that you could use XYZ on your website copy. Here's where I think it's lacking. It's not just my opinion. This is what I'm trained to do. Can I rewrite it for you? No charge. I just want to share what I could do. And then you post it. Watch the conversions go up. If you don't like what I did, don't tell anybody about it. Definitely don't do business with me because I'm obviously not very good at what I do. If you like what I did and you know someone that could benefit from this, that could also maybe use some more conversions on their website or is thinking about getting a blog going on their website, et cetera, et cetera. I'm really good at this stuff. I know I am, but I want to prove it to you first. 9 times out of 10, that person would allow me to do it. And then they'd say, you know what? Here's what I do in my business. I noticed blah, 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 blah. Can I help you do that? No charge. If you like what I did and you know someone that could benefit from me working with them, let me know. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get myself out there more too. So now, without even asking for them to do something for free for me, they
Mhm,
offered it because I was
mhm,
proactive and I took the initiative to do it for them. Now my time ended up becoming super valuable because now they're referring people to me. Now they're saying, wait a minute, I wanted to get a blog going for my website. I loved what you did for the about section on my website. This copy is amazing. This copy is great. It's
mhm.
exactly what I was looking to do. I didn't have the time or the skill set to do it myself. Can you write a couple of blog posts for my site? What do you charge for that sort of thing? And they pay it. No objection, no hurdle to cross. They're happy to pay it because I've already proven myself. I just proved that my time really is valuable. It's valued at X amount of dollars for this type of service.
Right.
Now it's not even a sales pitch. It's just, oh, you need this? Great, I can do that. Here's what I charge. When would you like to pay? Send me an invoice. I'll pay right now. Great. Then I'll work on
Mm,
this tomorrow. There's no selling
mm,
there, right? So y'all are getting
definitely.
stuck in the my time is valuable. I don't do anything for free
Mm.
nonsense. No one's asking you to do anything for free. Chances are that person's going to end up doing something for you in return. This is literally how people used to exist back in the
Very
olden
true.
days before currency became a thing. We would trade services all the time. We would barter all the time. It's
Definitely.
it's all we had. We didn't have money,
Right.
but
Oh
you're scared to
man.
do it now because you don't want anybody to waste your time.
Right. Yeah. And I think, Brian, so what we're talking about is how to find those clients, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about different techniques, but then our conversation has transitioned into mentality. And
Oh
I
man.
I love that because you can have the template and the blueprint and the steps, but if you're not connected to why this
Mm,
works
yeah.
or how this will affect your network or your leveraging your services to
Mm,
build your business, I think that the steps really won't resonate with people. So if you're watching this, and to Brian's point, if you're in that mentality of like, I don't want to waste my time, I know I'm just starting off, but I'm not gonna, throw myself under the bus by undercharging or giving out free, because if I do it free once, they're gonna expect me to do it free all
sure.
the time,
Sure.
so I think that where we're at now in the conversation is great, because you can buy all the ebooks and do all the steps and download all the templates and listen to all the podcasts you want, right? Like everybody's got podcasts, right?
Us
Uh,
too. Street smart
right.
sales. Everybody's
But
got a podcast.
right, I mean, it's true, right? And I think,
Yeah.
it's our responsibility to be accountable and transparent, with anybody that we deal with. And people who are listening now need and should understand that in order to get those first five clients in the door, you have to start off by having the right mindset around what it
Mm.
is you're trying to do, short term and long term.
Yeah, man. And I think, I'll use this analogy. I like talking about relationships a lot,
Hmm.
friendships, and just people being people. All of us, or at least most of us, can probably relate to the example I'm about to provide. When you have deep insecurities and limiting beliefs and a low self-esteem in general, I would find it very hard to believe that you had an easy time attracting high quality friends and or a high quality human being to date.
Mm, mm.
I don't
Okay.
care how good looking you were. I don't care how awesome your body looked, how smart you are, etc. How much money you were making at this amazing job you had, etc., etc. That type of mentality would be would become in hardly any amount of time very obvious to the people that you interact with. It would be the loudest scream that anyone could hear without you having to say a word. And that relates to your body language. That relates to the way you look at people in the eye or don't. The way you
Mhm,
shake their hand firmly or you don't. The way you don't make eye contact. The way you don't seem to really feel engaged. And then when that interaction is over, you wonder why nobody wants to date you. You wonder why you're attracting people who quote unquote aren't worth my time. They're not the right fit for me. Why do I have these kinds of crappy friends? They're not uplifting me. They don't make me feel better. They this and they that, and you're blaming them. No, dude, it's you. It's you. You're the problem. You are
mhm.
the fucking problem, not them.
Right.
So when people come to me and say I'm having a tough time finding clients, that's one of the first questions I ask is, well, who did you trade services with? Who did you help? I don't ask about how much money you're charging. I
Mhm.
don't ask about how much money you've made in the past and how good you think you are. I would hope you think you're good. Jesus. I mean, that's like step one. I would hope you believe in your skill sets.
Right?
Some of you may not, and that's a whole different conversation. We'll probably cover that next week. Um,
Yep.
but you know, those types of things that you're willing to do or not do are very apparent. I
Mhm.
hear so often that this is my price and that's that. Fine. You know, it sounds like you have a communication problem as well. These
Yep.
times when I trade services, I'm not saying, hey, I'm going to do this one for free. And if you like me, I'm going to discount the next thing I do for you too. Or I'm going to do another thing for free for you so I can prove myself. I'm just going to keep doing free stuff. No, I set very firm boundaries right from the jump. I'm a very direct person, if y'all can't tell already, and I'm very transparent. I like to think I have a lot of integrity too. That's how I was raised. I make it very clear, explicitly clear. Here's what I'm going to do for you to prove myself. Here's something I'm noticing about your website or your blog or XYZ. Let me show you what I can do. If you like what I do, here would be the next steps. Here's what else I'd like to do for you. We can have that conversation when it's appropriate, but I need to earn your trust and your respect first by providing this piece of work. Okay, now here's what I'm going to get this piece of work done and completed for you by. Hold me accountable for that. Boom. 9 times out of 10, I will finish it early for them. Whatever I got to do, I will finish it early for them to over exceed the expectations they might have had in their mind already. Now, the conversation becomes, okay, what did you think? Dude, I loved it. And you finished it 2 days early. This is incredible. You know what? You mentioned blogs, you mentioned this, you mentioned that. I do have some needs there. Or you know what? I know somebody I could put you in contact with on Facebook. I'll send an intro email. I'll send an intro, Instagram message thread or a text message thread. I'll put you in contact with them. I think you could do really good for them too. By the way, what do you charge for that? Oh, I charge this much. And here's roughly how much time I would need to complete something like that. Give me a week, give me 2 weeks, give me 2 days, whatever. Okay, cool. I'm very clear about that. So that the next time they need help, they don't think I'm going to discount it or give it to them for free or give their friend whatever service for free or for the same price or whatever. This is an intro price. I'm trying to earn your trust and your respect. Once I've earned that, I have zero desire to do this again where I do something for free or something at a discount. I've already earned it.
Right.
I'm not gonna lower my value, right? I've already proven myself. So just be clear in your communication. That also comes from your mindset.
Yep.
You have to have the confidence and the belief to say that here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's the boundaries I'm putting up. And you have to know that you're not offending them. You have to know that you're not doing something wrong or something hurtful or rude. You're just being firm in what you're trying to do. But you have to help them first, dude. Or you have to have someone else vouch for you that says, no, Brian is legit. Like he really can help. You should work with him. Okay, cool. Well, JB said you're legit, so you must be legit. I'll give you a chance.
Man, man. And I think especially when we talk about networking through social media. Social proof is a very big conversation, and the more value that you can add to your network and to the market,
Yeah.
of course, the bigger your social proof footprint will be.
Yeah.
We have a digital footprint when people can Google you and see how pretty
Of
your
course.
face
Yeah.
is and how nice your products are, but you also want that social proof footprint
Mm.
also.
Yeah.
And it does make things a lot easier. But of course, having either of those at a high level again starts with how you approach the business from a mentality perspective, and
Yeah.
then what you're willing to add in value up front before anyone
Bingo.
writes you a check,
Bingo.
or swipes their card.
And I talked about deadlines and over delivering on value. And I mentioned, I try my best to finish, and I usually can finish the project a day or two or three ahead of the predetermined or pre-agreed upon deadline. Why? I'm very intentional about that. It's because I've noticed that one of the gripes that I've had with working with, I'll say freelancers and just people in general, is a lot of times they will barely meet your expectations.
Hmm.
Sometimes even I've had this happen to me. They will say, "Oh, I'll get this done by XYZ date," and it's a day
Right,
late,
right,
two
right.
days late. And just before the deadline came up, you get an excuse. Oh man, I'm not going to finish it on time. Here's why. So sorry. I dealt with XYZ in my personal life, or I was putting out some fires with my clients. I'm so sorry. It's going to be a day or two late. I hope you're not upset, Brian. Please forgive me. I'll give you a 10% discount. Give you a 20% discount for the inconvenience. Please don't leave me a bad review. Please don't blast me online. Now you're fighting scared, right? Because you didn't come through for this person. You didn't say what you were going to do. Sorry, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. You are not who you said you are, not to this human being. And so when I finish the project early and you're happy with it, there's one of my value props. That might be one of the only recent memories that you have working with someone like me, where someone like me actually over exceeded the expectations.
Mm.
They did a terrific job on the project. A, you were happy. B, they communicated with you extremely well throughout the entire process. I'm huge on that. I am huge on that, JB. You know that.
I know, man.
I will give you status updates. I will tell you what we're doing. I will tell you what my teammate Autumn or my teammate Hadley is doing. Here's how things are coming along. If we have additional questions, we're going to ask you. Okay, we should be done with this tomorrow. We're going to be 2 days early. That way,
Mm.
if you have any final thoughts, any revisions you want us to make, you can offer them. We will do them, and we'll still get this project done a day early. Look at that. I baked it into the agreement in my
Right.
mind, right?
Right.
I am shattering those expectations. So guess what's probably going to happen the next time you have a similar need? Who are you going to think of? Probably me.
Hmm.
It's just the little things, man. Communicating a simple text message, giving that human being a quick status update, a short email where you CC your teammates so they can have visibility in the conversation too. It's not rocket science. I'm not that fucking smart.
Right.
I just care about people and I treat them how I would want to be treated if I was in their shoes and I had to work with someone like me and I was paying all this money to work with someone like me. It's not that
Hmm.
hard, right? People
Right.
appreciate that. And go figure, I get a ton of renewals. I get a ton of repeat business already. Exceeding expectations that people have of me when they do business with me.
Man, that is gold, man. Every time we every time we hit record, man, we got some gems coming in.
Thank you,
But
man. I
yeah,
try.
man. Yeah, no, you're doing it. You're doing a lot more than trying. Um, so here's what I want to do for our listeners here. I would like to give them some tangible steps.
Yep.
I think we've talked a lot about mentality, we've talked a lot about positioning, we've talked a lot about maybe what not to do or what to stop doing when it
Yep.
comes to how to think about your business and getting those clients. And then of course, how you should be thinking about it with some examples, and
Mm,
that's been great. But for our sensory listeners, right? So,
sure.
everybody won't be as intuitive to know, oh, okay, like I received the word and I know what to do now. Like it
We're
just
taking him to church this morning.
right. It clicked, right? Like Brian snapped me out of it. JB
Yeah,
snapped me out of it. Now I know exactly what steps to take, right? So of course, like most people listening to this, we're gonna assume that they're more on the sensory side. They need those tangible items, those tangible steps, which I
of
think we
course.
all do, at least
Mhm.
starting off. So let's walk through at least three things that either a startup, entrepreneur, solopreneur can do to
Okay.
start acquiring these new clients, or someone who may be just stuck in a rut and who maybe needs to recalibrate what they can do to get
Yep.
some new clients in the door.
Yep. Three things. Here we go. Number one, this is exactly what I did. I want you to send a text message to everyone, not just your close friends or close family, blah, blah, blah. Everyone that is in your contact list in your cell phone.
Mm, wow, talk about mentality, because that's going to be scary for some people.
I don't give a shit. I want you to text everyone. And
Right?
here's what you're going to text them. Nobody cares about how scared you are. Look, if you think your time is valuable, you got to prove it, dude.
Yep.
Your time isn't valuable if you're too chicken shit to even text the people in your cell phone contact list, for fuck's sake. Okay? You text them. You let them know, hey, if you haven't launched the business yet, that's fine. You can switch it up. But if you have launched the business, hey, I want to let you know I'm super excited about this business I have. Here's a couple of the things that I'm offering. Boom, 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 bullet points. If you know anyone who could benefit from speaking with me or working with me, feel free to pass along my contact info. I was just thinking about you the other day, so I wanted to make sure that you were aware of what I'm doing. Have a great day, right? Something simple. P.S. I'm offering a 10% lifetime referral commission for anybody who sent my way that ends up working with me. It's my way to say thank you, or my way of saying thanks. Something so simple like that. Send that shit out to everyone in your contact list. You probably have, no, bare minimum 100 people in there, whether you've
Yeah.
spoken to them recently or it's been 10 years since you don't care, dude. It's not about working with them directly, but they probably know someone who might benefit.
Mhm.
And if you don't tell anyone what you're doing and who you're helping and all of this, then how are people supposed to know? How are they supposed to be aware that you're doing those things, right? You haven't put it
Right?
out there. Step
Right?
one. I bet you'll find 5 clients just from that alone.
Yep.
I bet you at
Right?
least five referrals you can follow up on. Next, I want you to start posting on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever comes with LinkedIn, once a day, minimum, once a day. Something about your business, something about your personal life that's relevant, something about a product or service you have, a client testimonial you may or may not have. If you don't have it, get one. You shooting a quick me. My God, look, I didn't have any money, in the early days of launching this business. We kept talking about these walk and talk videos, me and JB, that I do. Dude, it's free. I walk around my neighborhood. Do you live somewhere? Great, great. You're ahead of the game, bud. Take your ass outside. Walk, for God's sake. Just walk,
Oh,
man.
man.
Do you live
Oh,
somewhere, dude? Do you
that's
exist?
that's beautiful. That's going
Take your
viral.
cell phone out. Shoot a quick 2 or 3, 4 minute long video. You talking, being a person, sharing something about your previous work experience that's relevant to your business. I do it all the time. I'm already outside. I'm about to go for a run. This is part of my warm up. I'm already outside. I wanted to get some extra. I wanted to get some steps in. I'm walking. Boom, 3 minute video. Here you go. When I get home back on my Wi-Fi, I'll load it up on my Facebook real quick. It'll be a reel or it'll be up on my Instagram, my LinkedIn. Great. I was out there anyways and being a human being. Maybe someone will find this valuable. I get a ton of positive feedback about those videos. they're not professionally edited. I don't think they're like earth shattering. I'm just literally walking around with my stupid phone in front of my ugly face, talking about whatever I feel like talking about. It might be a personal example, might be something about sales, might be something about this podcast, a
Mhm.
client, uh, positive experience I've had. There you go. You guys can do this. I bet you'll get some clients from doing that. And putting a quick action item, a call to action in there saying that you're taking a few clients on. And here's the deadline for, when you would need them to respond so you could enroll them in your program or have a conversation about it, right? Um,
Right.
the last thing is I want you to find whether it's in person, like I joined my local chamber of commerce in my local town a couple weeks ago. It's been a smashing success so far. So I should have joined much earlier. That's on me. Whether it's a local group or some online communities that are relevant to your business, where you feel like some of your ideal clients might hang out. Join them. It's not hard. Most of those are probably free. Unlike the one I joined that I told you about earlier in the conversation. I had to pay to play.
Right.
Um, Join them. But instead of just taking up space, like most people, actively participate, post content, ask thoughtful questions, DM people, try to do some virtual coffees or connection calls, something. Dude, be useful, be valuable. Those are three easy things. They're all free that you can do. The only thing you are quote and quote paying for or having to utilize is your time that you think is so valuable.
Mm.
But nobody else probably thinks so, or very few people do. And that's
Right.
okay. We can change that. Guess who gets to change it? You. Those are
Right.
three things that you can do right now. Get after it. Or don't. It's up to
True.
you, baby. It's up to you.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, that about wraps up our conversation for today. Um, Definitely hope that everyone listening here can get out there, find those first five clients, find those first five new clients. If you've been in business and you just need to recalibrate, please take everything that we've discussed here in this conversation and apply it, take notes, journal about it, meditate about it, do whatever it is you got to do, and then apply those three turnkey steps that Brian gave us just a few minutes ago here and go out there and kill it. Go out there and attack it. And don't be afraid of the no's. Don't be afraid of the work. Don't be afraid of the fatigue because guess what? Nobody's exempt. Nobody's excused from some days feeling drained or tired, or a few people have told you no and now you feel discouraged. Nobody gives a shit, you know? And
Literally no one.
when the bill comes, or if you have children, you got a family and they need stuff and you need stuff, I mean, the stores and the companies don't care. Your card either works or it doesn't. And you never want to be in that situation, right? Because you didn't feel like it or you were too afraid to be ambitious and do what you need to do and execute. So I wish that for everybody listening today. Um, Please share this with anybody who may need it. If you have a group of entrepreneurs or like-minded individuals who just need a little um reminder of what it is it takes to get started and stay on top, and keep coming back. Keep coming back. Brian, man, you have anything for us?
Absolutely. I'd like to finish on this thought, and I hope it resonates with all of you out there that are listening and slash or watching. We are all going to die, dude. We're gonna die. All of us. Do you get that? Like, do you realize that? There's so many of us out there. I used to be one of these people earlier in my life. You'd be scared to ask the girl out. You'd be scared to make the business decision. You'd be scared to launch the business. You'd be scared to tell your friends about what you're passionate about, what you're doing, because you don't want to get rejected. You don't want people to make fun of you. You don't want people to tell you no. You don't want people to think you charge too much or call you names or belittle you or whatever, man. The scariest thing is, from what I've seen and experienced and realized for myself, is not the no. It's not from people making fun of you or belittling you or not believing in your dream. You'll get that everywhere you go. It's fine. It's the regret. It's the
Mhm.
knowing that you could have been happier, you could have done more, you could have been more, but you were too much of a chicken shit to actually do it. Fucking stop. Take the risk, dude. It's gonna be fine. You're not gonna die. It's gonna be okay. And at some point, you're gonna learn from these experiences and these quote unquote setbacks, and you will get smarter. You will get better, and you will find success. And you'll be so fucking proud of yourself. You know, I've never respected myself or been more proud of myself more in my entire life than the duration of me having this business. I've never loved myself more because of what I've been able to accomplish and do and the human being that this being an entrepreneur has allowed me to become. And I want that for you. Stop playing scared. We're all going to die, dude. Every day. We're running out of time. I've lost so many friends over the years who have passed away from all sorts of different things. It's horrific. You wouldn't believe it. And so I think about that all the time over all the things that I haven't been able to accomplish yet. So if this is it, if today's it, what can I get done today? Because I don't know what's going to end up happening to me or when it's going to happen to me. That's what scares me the most these days, right? So stop being scared. Sorry I called y'all a chicken shit so many times, but it's true. Stop being one if you are being. Don't talk about it, be about it. Okay? I love you
Right.
guys. Thank you for
Cool,
your time.
cool.